Okay, TikTok, here's a little story. This is Finn. He's one of my cats. See that right there? That's called a joybit. It is a GPS tracker. You notice the nice harness that he's got on him. Now, if you give him a little scritch, oh, look, there's a collar. Easily found. Happens to have my phone number on it. Today, Mr. Finn decided he wanted to go out exploring, so he wore his harness with his GPS. He was roadside. I was indoors. A woman drove by, saw him, decided he was in distress, I assume, picked him up, didn't recognize what was on the back of his harness, so she drove him 6 miles to an animal shelter, where they also failed to know what it was. They failed to find his collar. It was cold today. It was about 45 degrees. And I decided to check on him after he had been out for an hour to see if he wanted to come in and get warm. And that's when I found his signal 6 miles from my house. If you find an animal that has a harness, if you don't recognize something hanging off of it, here's a thought. Go to the nearest house that you see and ask them. They might know who that pet is. There was 2 houses she could have chose before turning off the street. She didn't stop at either one. Either of those houses would have claimed him because the next door neighbors are my family. They know who he is. I was home. They were home. There was no excuse. If you see an animal with a harness, if they're not in distress, leave them alone. Unless you're in the big city where they really don't belong, if you're out in the country where I am, leave them alone. I couldn't even believe it. He was so scared. That's why he's laying on my desk right now. Because he's scared to do anything. She said she was trying to help. Help who? Help get rid of the cat population? Luckily, she took him to a no-kill shelter. They were surprised to see me because they couldn't figure out how to contact me. True GPS, that's what you want. Not paw tracker, none of that crap. You don't want anything that relies on a cell phone. It's a small monthly fee, you'll know exactly where it is. They could have put him on a jet plane and I still would have found him. Leave other people's animals alone.